Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our time together. I'm Lori Lamantia, and I'm here with the wonderful Trisha Fisk.
Good morning, everybody.
And of course, we're talking about everyday prosperity here. And one of the things that we've been talking about in the last few weeks is writing a news story or writing a now story. And the thing that we started with last week was this understanding of the story is our story. It's the thing that we're deciding to tell about us as we are in these positions and situations in our own lives. And originally we started talking about, well, tell the God story, the perfection story, the samadhi story, which I
Mhm.
totally love. And what I realized this week is that's the North Star. That's what we are trying to pull down, bring down, and integrate as we make our day-to-day life choices. And so every time we pull that North Star understanding down into our now story, we we are on the journey path towards samadhi, let's say. And so that's what we're really wanting to talk about today is this now story is it's juicy, but it's also got crap in it too, where you're making constant tweaky choices about am I going to choose the old way or am I going to choose the new Lori? Am I going to choose the Lori who understands how to protect and be afraid and worry or whatever the Lori was? And then this I'll call her the upgraded Lori, the big Lori, the Lori that is ready to choose samadhi in the moment, that's ready to choose the heaven on earth, is the words I've been using lately, and tweak my story. So I'm choosing a new that's based on this divine, great prosperity understanding of myself. And I would probably choose differently in the moment. And that's what we're going to talk about today is choosing the upgraded story in the moment so that it evolves into that, experience where you are samadhiing in the moment. And and the other thing I want to say about this is not easy. When I'm learning as Trisha and I went through our week, it's hard because in the moment you want to do the habitual thing that you've always done. Maybe it's protect, maybe it's reject, maybe it's uh, push away. Whatever it is, for me, it's it's really trying to choose differently, which is self-respect, self-love, and love of other. And that's a hard one to find, right? Because I want to find the way that respects me, but I also want to be kind and compassionate to the people that I'm in
The
relation
other.
with. Yeah.
Right, right.
And if I were to pick the one thing, because I'm working through this partnership dissolution, it's watching the other partners do their thing and me not reacting in an angry, attacking way. But to say I choose to respond with as much self-love and self-respect as I can, and self-respect and love for them. And sometimes when we think we're choosing samadhi, we think we should, just let them have that, or don't worry about that, or give that up. And I think it just creates more resolve to get clear about what it is in the moment that feels the most self-loving and self-respecting with and executing on that with as much love as you can muster, which is a weird combo, right? Because my self-respect thing is I want out of this partnership really bad. But to want out of it, not because I'm mad at them, but to want out of it because it feels like the most loving thing I can do, those are different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They are
And
different.
and that's what I'm trying to communicate here about this new story, these new choices that we're making so that we're upgrading to the samadhi point and pulling down this heaven on earth. How does it look, not just when I'm meditating, but when I'm living my life?
Right. Yes, to get it off the mat, if you will, for yoga or out of your meditation seat and bring it into life with you. That is the intention here, not to just withdraw and have a few minutes where we feel like we've really touched grace, but to, right, bring it out into life with us. In no matter what's happening, no matter whether what's happening is sweet and pretty or whether it's kind of rough and dirty as well.
And I think that's
Yeah.
what you learned with your experience this week with your CT scan.
Yes. So I had to have a CT scan because something was showing up on my lungs. And the possibilities that I was sent, none of them were very attractive or anything I wanted to happen, but one was cancer, and I just recently lost my sister to cancer, so that one was really painful for me. And I have a tendency, because I am single, to think that I don't have a family and I really shouldn't burden anybody with this. I shouldn't burden my son and daughter-in-law. I should wait until I know what's going on. That was my thinking. And afterwards, and so I was really scared. I was holding that by myself. So obviously not sleeping good and all that
Mhm.
stuff.
Mm.
So I had the test, and afterwards I started reaching out to people and sharing what had happened. And I realized maybe I'm single, but I have a family. I have a
Mm.
family, and I was loved and held and supported, and I don't have to go through that alone. So whatever comes from this, and whatever next time, or I don't have to go through this alone. And that was a huge thing.
Beautiful. Yeah, and that's the thing. When you're on the mat, you feel the love. And then you feel like when you get off the mat, there's no love out there. I gotta,
Right,
that's the traditional thought. But what I love that story because it showed you the love off the mat. It showed you the
right,
connection and the all the beautiful things about being alive on earth that are juicy, I guess, that make our souls come here. It's pretty cool when you have that realization that you are loved off the mat as much as you are on the mat.
right, right. I'm loved and held and supported, not just as a yoga teacher, but as a person. And
Right.
that's, yeah,
Oh,
that's,
beautiful.
yeah,
Absolutely. And and to me, that's the up leveling, right? That new understanding where you can, and thank you for that story because I can give love, I can love loving. And I always thought that that's what I'm supposed to do. I don't matter in the equation, but it's not true. I matter in the equation as much as everybody else. And that's what I wish for people to understand always is that they matter in the equation. And I think people don't think that. They think it's about everybody else. I'm supposed to be loving. I'm not supposed to be loved. And I
right,
think that's the up leveling in the story is thank you for that because it's my thing too. Oh, I can be the bigger person. In this partnership, I can give love even though they might tromp on me. No, I appreciate holding that, but I also appreciate that I do deserve love in this whole transaction too, not just to be the giver and the big hearted and it's okay if you walk on me. No, it's not. I love me enough to make sure you don't walk on me.
right. And I think that's such an important piece is I deserve I deserve love too. And honestly, if we look at that honestly, if we're not willing to accept and let ourselves be loved, how can we give that back? 100%. You know what I mean? If samadhi is the 100% I am giving and receiving love, how can I give it if I can't fully receive it?
Right.
Because it's not an open channel. It's not an
Correct.
open channel. We're limiting. we're limiting our ability to receive it, which means we're limiting our ability to give it back.
Right. And I'm willing to receive it from the unlimited, but am I willing to receive it from the 3D experience?
Right, right.
The answer would be if I'm really creating heaven on earth and I'm learning how to download that, the answer would have to be yes. I have to be divinity walking, and divinity walking gets to receive love.
Yeah, that's right. That's
100%.
right. Yes.
And I think you're right. I mean, I wouldn't have put this as a receiving journey, but doggone it, it is.
Right. Yeah. So I want to share my Beezy story.
Yes.
So I have a
Easy's your
cat.
cat, right? You're good.
Right. I
Okay.
have a cat named Beezy, and I adopted Beezy when he was like 4 years old, and he'd already been adopted and put back into the, taken back to the Humane Society. So he was pretty traumatized and not a lap cat at all, like very much kept his distance. It took a long time for him to even get comfortable, like hanging on the couch with me and stuff. Um, so I've started this meditation practice with my teacher, Rod Stryker, Luminous Cohesion. And it's we it's about bringing this what our beautiful experience in meditation, bringing it out into our life and sharing it with the people that we're with. um so anyway, it's everyday practice. And I've started Beezy has started when I sit to do my meditation. He's sitting on my lap every single time. It's like as soon as I take the iPad into my meditation room, he's there sitting, waiting for me to settle down so he can get onto my lap. And I find it fascinating because in my mind, every experience I have every day is not the same. Sometimes I feel like I really am surrendering, and some days I can't quite let go of stuff. But his reaction to me is that I'm going there. So
Mhm.
he's safe to come and sit on my lap.
Mm.
So I think that's a really big thing too.
They're so wise. They're
Yeah,
so wise. They
right,
really, animals are the greatest gift in that and they want us to, they want us to learn about love. I really believe that they're, fourth dimension beings that are in love or fifth dimension, and they're just bringing love, 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 love all the time. And
right.
again, that he's showing you, yes, I love you.
He is, yes. Even though he can be a total pain in the butt sometimes.
Yes, but that's
Because
part of that's
right,
unconditional love. And you can
right.
unconditionally love me back. Watch. I'll show you.
Right, right. Yeah. So it's been an interesting week. Um, as we invited um these experiences to come in and let us decide how we wanted to rewrite our stories. It's been a hell of a week.
Right. And it's got offered practice, but in a kind and I would say a kind and gentle way. It's not uh, it's not easy, but it's really teaching me giving me the practice to make energetic choices, energetic investments. I talk a lot about that, and I really want to make the energy investments that are loving and respectful and
Mm,
self-respectful and self-loving. And then I share that in as much love and respect as I can, and sometimes it's harder than you think, and sometimes it's easier than you think. I'm guessing
right,
that as you practice it, it gets easier and easier because you get more and more comfortable knowing you are in that love space. So why not be
right.
loving?
Exactly. It's the practice, it's the process of discovering, yeah, I can go through this and I can be grateful for the lesson and choose the respect and the love.
Yes.
And that is I believe, how we will transform all the conflict that we're seeing in our outer world right now. Is if we
100%, yes.
if we individually start to stand in that place, the more of us agreeing to that instead of you're right and you're wrong and we're different and I want to win kind of thing, we can change the world.
Yeah. Thank you for saying it that way. I think you're absolutely right. And that's what I think the now story is about is I know how to do it the old way. What am I choosing as the new way in the moment right now? Presence. The presence, the present that the presence gives you is that you get to choose fresh and new and in an everyday prosperity way, how does that sit in your body? Hopefully it should feel hmm, light, free, or just respectful. I don't know.
Mm,
Everybody's
right,
different. Everybody's got to decide, and that's the beautiful journey.
right.
And I know if you're listening to this, I know you want to do it. I mean, if you're listening to this, you know that you want that. You want this up leveling, for lack of a better word, this new earth to be born that isn't about right and wrong and good and bad and us against them. It's about us, just us.
One step at a time, right?
It's weird. I wouldn't have expected this. When we talked before this, I wouldn't have expected it to take this turn, but I totally trust that this was the exact way we were meant to talk about this new story, this now story.
I agree. Trust the process.
Yeah, intelligence operating intelligently through us. I love it. So, thank you everyone for being here. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap?
No, no, I don't have a poem today.
Yeah, that's okay. I think
Yeah.
leaving it on the love note, let it float out through the ethers. I think our hearts are a beautiful song that we're singing.
Mm,
It's a great gift to humanity, just trying to be here, living,
right.
loving
Through through our hearts, consciously. Right.
consciously. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great week. And
Thank you, everybody. Blessings.
yeah, absolutely. Namaste.
Bye.